Again, I want to say to everyone watching us at home right now, we hear your concern, we feel your anxiety, and we know what we need to do. When this year began, Americans were enjoying a level of peace and prosperity unheard of in modern times. The economy was at record highs. Unemployment for American workers was at record lows. Take-home pay was rising, and business closures were falling. And our brave men and women in uniform were protecting us from threats across the globe. But a few weeks ago, we learned about an invisible enemy from a distant land, an enemy like we've never faced before. Now the virus is here. We didn't invite it. We didn't ask for it.
Gentlemen, will suspend. The House is not in order. Please, members, take your conversations to the hall. Wait. Gentlemen may proceed.
Now the virus is here. We did not invite it. We did not ask for it. We did not choose it. But we will fight it together until we win together. We will win because we have the best of our country on the front lines. We will win because of the other people in uniform, our doctors, our nurses, our lab technicians, and hospital volunteers. Take one moment and imagine, where would we be without their fortitude? They have the toughest jobs in the world, but they are truly the best in the world. You, our medical professionals, are our heroes. We, this entire body of members of Congress, salute you. We will always win because of our truck drivers, grocery store clerks, postal workers, farmers, and warehouse workers. You're working night and day. You're making a meaningful, measurable difference in the lives of everyone you serve. You are the foundation of everything we will do today. And we will win because of our scientists. Their bright minds and faster cures should give every American peace of mind. We are developing a victory vaccine faster than ever in the history of any virus. On behalf of all Americans and on behalf of all members of Congress, I want to thank those on the front lines for their professionalism and dedication. Another critical front in our war against this virus is the Homefront, literally. To slow the spread, the government is asking, and in some cases requiring, millions of small businesses and families to put their daily lives on pause and remain at home. I am overjoyed that so many have taken the imperative of social distancing so seriously. Flattening the curve is the most important activity any American citizen can do today. It is even more important now that the virus has arrived in full force. We are asking you to continue to remain at home as much as possible. I know this action carries substantial circumstances. We all saw that tragic news just this week. 3.3 million Americans filed for unemployment benefits. We have never experienced that before in our lives, not even in the Great Depression, that many. So what can we do for the hardworking taxpayers, their families, and small businesses, the pillars of the American life, who are doing their part but facing economic disaster through no fault of their own? First, we can recognize that their sacrifice are invaluable service to their fellow citizens. They deserve our eternal gratitude and prayers. Second, and more importantly, we can give them our financial support now, today, so they can weather this brutal storm in the weeks ahead. Which brings me to the rescue package before us today, the CARES Act. If developing tests and treatments and vaccines is America's new arsenal of democracy, the CARES Act is our modern-day all-American Marshall Plan. It is the largest assistance measure in American history. And it is going directly in the pockets of hardworking taxpayers, their families, and small businesses. For everyone affected by this virus, we will be your voice. For those battling the virus, or lost your job, or do not know if you'll have one a month or two from now, I want you to know we're listening, we hear you, and we are working for you. I want to give Leader McConnell a lot of credit. From the beginning, he was committed to a bottom-up, bipartisan, and bicameral process. He honored his commitment, and it shows. The Senate passed this bill by a unanimous vote. Every Republican, every Democrat. It is bold, truly bipartisan, and targeted to achieve the mission at hand. Our top priority is to keep Americans at work. So we aim the efforts to keep Americans employed through two measures. For small businesses and nonprofits, the bill provides 100% federally guaranteed loans for 8 weeks. If that loan is used to pay your employees, or pay your rent, or pay your utilities, it's no longer a loan, it's a grant, because we know what government has asked you to do. Other business gets a retention credit to keep employees on. If, unfortunately, American workers find themselves out of work, this bill offers an additional 13 weeks of unemployment insurance and dramatically expands eligibility. It also makes benefits more generous by adding another $600 across-the-board payment through the end of July. The CARE Act also expands unemployment insurance to cover gig workers and self-employed and nonprofit employees. Additionally, for American families that might need a little extra support, you will start receiving and seeing those checks in 3 weeks. You won't have to wait for months for financial help. Payments will be as much as $1,200 for an individual taxpayer and $500 per child. Finally, this legislation provides critical resources to American healthcare workers and hospitals. Over $140 billion in appropriations to support our health systems. We don't just talk about our respect for the medical heroes among us. We are going to give them the equipment to save lives and the tools they need to protect themselves. The reason for this legislation is to protect American workers, protect American jobs, and protect hardworking American taxpayers. We are providing targeted, temporary, and timely relief to Main Street, not Wall Street. We are not underwriting bad business practices or priming the pump. Ultimately, we are laying the foundation for a rapid economic recovery. This bill is not only a rescue package, it is a commitment. A commitment that your government and the people whom you elected to serve will do everything we can to limit the harm and hardship you face, both now and in the foreseeable future. To the American public, if you do your part, I promise we will do ours. Mr. Speaker, as I said earlier, it is our responsibility to act, to put aside our differences and do what's right for the American public. Aid must be robust, rapid, and resilient, just like its recipients. We are going to help Americans through this. We are going to do this together. And in the end, we are going to be healthier, stronger, and more united than ever before. Because, as Americans, that's who we are. I yield back.